Good evening. Hello. Happy Sunday. Welcome to DeWitt 3D Canada. Hi, guys. Tim here, and I see we have Jose and Jeff Thorson on already, and Cliff D just popped in and said hello. So hello, guys. It's been a fun Sunday trying to get things so that this stream is going to hopefully go the way I want it to go. We will see who else is on. We have 8 people watching, 3 people speaking. So that's all right. I'm going to just do a quick test to see if you can hear me. I'm sure you can hear me, but this is actually a really quick. Yes, you can hear me. Perfect. Mr. Logan, good evening. So let me stand up here. So the goal for tonight is to do a test print on Barbie. Now, I have one hiccup that I'm hoping somebody out there can help me with, but we'll get into that in a bit. But last week we left off with having a few issues with the I just brain fart right now with the probe. Oh, the poke probe. So what I ended up doing, let me cut to this guy. I ended up going ahead and I took the poke probe off that we had on there, which was this one here, just because there were so many discrepancies and issues with it. So I went ahead, took that off. I printed a new one in Barbie pink. And then after I printed this new one, I had a little bit of a, you can kind of see it didn't quite stick to the bed like I wanted it to. So because I have a habit of not cleaning my bed. So I took that. And then after, what I decided to do was I decided to get it as accurate as possible. I switched nozzles on the P1P to a 0.2 nozzle, and I went to a 0.12 layer height, and I printed another one, which is the one that's in her right now. And she seems to be working pretty good. It took me a couple seconds to get it all working, and I had to figure out that I needed to actually tighten the back 2 screws on the this is on the wire holder, whatever you want to call it, to keep the wires in check here. But I've just put a temporary little thing up here. And once I snugged everything on the back down, I've snugged everything on the front down. It seems to be working good, but I do find that it's not probing accurate 100% of the time. And I'm not sure if that's just because of the nature of the probe itself and the way the probe is printed, where we are depending on filament printed little springy things to make the probe accurate. But just prior to coming live just now, I did go ahead and successfully do a Z-tilt adjust. So hopefully we can get it printing. But the one thing that happened, the one time it may need to be broken in, Nick, that's it. And I'm going to do it once more. But I did do the what was that command called last week? Probe accuracy samples equals 100. I did that 4 times. And after the 4th time, it seemed to stay more consistent with the numbers, because the first couple times, the numbers kept going up and up and up and up. And then 3rd time, they kind of evened out. 4th time, they seemed to steady with just the odd little hiccup there. And then after that 4th time, I was able to successfully do the Tri-Zero adjust. So that could be the trick, was that I needed to actually get a 300, 400, 500 even maybe little probes on it, just to break it in, to get the spring action to be consistent on it. So yeah, so Nick is here. Hello. And I didn't say hello. Joseph Carver is here, and Joseph Jolly is here. Hello. So one thing I did last week after I left the I think it was after I cut the stream off, I was able to flukily get it to start a print. But what happened when it started the print, it did the Z-tilt adjust and everything fine. But when the print started, it wanted to start in the back of the bed and go this way. So I don't know, as far as I understand, I have all the motors going the right way, because when I home her, and I'll show you this, I'll show you me homing Barbie. So we get a nice close up here. So if I go and just home her, she's homing correctly. We have X homing this way. Okay, we have Y homing this way. And then we get a good Z home on her, right? So she's homing really well. But when she started to try and print, it was going towards the back, as opposed to me where I just had a test print in the middle of the bed. So obviously something in my configuration I need to look at and figure out what's going on with that. Hey, Brent Ferguson from Texas, how are you? Timor 714 is here too. There is some Clipper macro or add-on that maps accuracy. Oh, I see. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I just want to get a print going. I can feed filament no problem now. I've put on a temporary little PTFE, well, more so just this is a sort of a clear transparent one just for guiding the filament in. I stole the Prusa Mini little filament rollers here, and I've just got a partial spool of Polylite PLA on here in the orange. Orange because people were saying, do your first print in pink. Well, I've got the pink tied up on printing a spool holder for this. And it is kind of close to Halloween. So, yeah. You used to be dyslexic, but now you're KO. I like that. That's kind of funny. So I'm going to go ahead and, let me turn my create light on. This thing's kind of cool when it lights up. There we go. There we go. Just because it's kind of fun to have. And okay, so I'm going to download. I used to have one on my desktop, but I don't think I do. But I'm just going to download. Well, maybe I have it in the in my Voron files. But I just want to download that, just your standard cube that gets printed on the Voron. I believe I have it in my. I believe it's a sample file in the. If I go to the 2.4 STLs and there should be test prints. There we are, a test print. And where's the cube? Design cube right there. We're going to pop that design cube down. And I'm just using a zero. What I'm doing is I'm using Bamboo Slicer just because it's the one that I have on right now. And I'm just using a standard Voron 0.1, 0.2 profile. And it should, because that should work just fine because the bed size is exactly the same. But of course, we're using configuration files from the Trident that are dumbing down to the Tri-Zero. So let me go ahead and just switch this to the Voron 0. It's a 120 millimeter bed with a 0.4 nozzle. And I'm going to bring this cube in. Bear with me. And I put that cube on my desktop. There it is right there. Can I share this? No, I can't. If I drag this over to the other screen to share it, it goes wonky, and I've got to fix that for future. Okay, so we're just going to use standard 4, 5, 6, 20% gyroid infill. It's going to be fine. I'm not overly worried about, you know, the quality right now. I just want to get the printing. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to slice this up. It's a 33-minute print. We're going to print, and we're going to upload it to the slicer, or upload it to the clipper. Let me bring you guys back on my screen so I can see who's chatting up what. Hey, Jason Sigmund, hello. Kenneth Davis, hello, hello. Okay, so now we have, let me clear that one. So there we go. So I've basically just brought in the Voron Design Cube right here. And I'm going to tell it to print. And then that way I'll show you guys what's been happening when it starts to print. And then hopefully if we all put our heads together. Hey, Jose, did I not say hi to you off the beginning? I might not have. Hey, Jose, how are you? I know you were here early, so I thought I did, but I might not have said hello. So we're just going to let this heat up to 55 on the bed. I did a PID tune on the bed. I did a PID tune on the hot end off screen. And then otherwise I was fixing the poke probe. And hopefully the poke probe is going to be behave a little better this week for us. So if I come back here, so we're just letting this heat up. The bed's heating up. And then hopefully we get a nice Z-tilt adjust going. And then when the print starts, you're going to see what I mean. The head is going to want to go the opposite way that it wants to. And I cannot, for the life of me, find something in the printer config file that would cause it to do that. The motors, from what I understand, are all going the right way, but there's a few things that I need to look into, obviously. So let's just see what happens. Watch, it'll work now and make me look like a liar, but no, we'll see. So hope everybody's had a great week. So I've actually got the wiring and everything tidied up a little bit on here. I spent some time and did a little bit of, I've got just a temporary little zip tie to keep this up out of the way. We mounted the Raspberry Pi on the side on the back here. And I've done a little bit of cleaning up of her rear end here so it's not so all over the place. So, and once we get everything built, once we get everything printing and I'm happy with it, I will be doing some cosmetic stuff to make things look a little bit better on the backside here. So that is that. So yeah. Okay, the bed is almost heated up, and then the nozzle is going to heat up to 220. And we're hopefully going to get something out of this. And I did remember I had forgotten to put the little piece of PTFE in between the hot end and the extruder. So we ended up putting a 12 millimeter piece of PTFE in there, and filament loads no problem now. So everything should be working as expected. So you guys like my shirt? I did this a long time ago. Some of you will get it and some of you won't. Now do you want to know the easy way? By Jason Tech Support. I haven't seen Jason on in a while, but he may pop on once in a while. But I just decided to wear that shirt today that I made in his honor a few years back when I first started doing a build. Okay. Come on, bed. This bed heats up a little slower than the larger printers. I think it's just because it's not an AC. It's a DC heating bed. The AC ones tend to heat up a lot faster, but it's okay. This still does pretty good. We're at 54 degrees right now. It's got to go to 55. So, and I should actually, the hot end should be heating. Oh, there goes the hot end. I was going to say I need to set it so the hot end heats up at the same time, but the hot end heats up much quicker. So 3 people have dropped off, 17 people watching. Thank you guys for being here. Remember, stick around until the end of the stream, or till probably around 6:30-ish, in and around there. We're going to be doing a draw again for a roll of Polymaker filament, which you can win. So, and thank you again for my channel partner Polymaker for making that available for you guys, my viewers. That is great. Great to create. I'll be so glad to get Barbie printing and have this project behind me, because there's a lot of things I want to get working on and get moving on for my live streams on Sundays. So they're going to take a little different turn than the average build, although I do have a few plans for my 2.4, which is sitting right there. It's a 300 millimeter 2.4. It's going to get a new hot end, etc. Hey, Tor, how are you, sir? Welcome, welcome. What time is it now over here? Right now, it is 5:14 p.m. When do you get to see the droids? These things, you mean? I'll pull the droids down one of these streams and let you have a look at them running. They work. They've still got their batteries in them, and the batteries still have juice in them. So the drink droid is the one that I like the most. So I haven't operated the drink droid in a long time, probably about a year now. And technically, I should be discharging the batteries. So, but they still work. Hey, 3D Medic Vince, how are you? Okay, we are at 2:15, so we're going to start up here pretty soon. So I'm going to switch over to this guy here, this guy, and we're just going to have an eye. You'll see. So we're going to watch it go through the motion. It's going to home first, then it's going to do a Z tilt adjust, and then it's going to try a quarter after midnight. Wow, that is late, Jose. Okay, here we go for the homing. The homing home's fine. And then we're going to do a Z tilt adjust, and then it's going to print. And if all goes bad, it's going to try and print in the opposite direction. So, and the Z tilt adjust should go pretty easy now, because I think I've broken that in pretty good. First couple are, make me a liar here. Oh, come on. When I did this just before I started the stream, you worked fine. Now you're going to time out, aren't you? Yeah, it exceeded tolerance samples. Okay, wow. Let's home you. Wow. That's craziness. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the probe accuracy samples again, and I'll show you guys the screen as the results we're getting. So let's do the probe accuracy samples. And here's the display we're getting on the right here. See, last time I did it, we were up in the 0.5 somethings. Now we're sticking to the 46, 41, 31, 42, 36. It's all over the place. It is all over the place. And this is going to be, after this one's done, that'll be 500 times I've done it. Hey, Mrs. Lee Marie, thank you. The pink is nice, isn't it? It's Monday there already. Probe triggered prior to movement. Okay, so now we have an issue with the probe being triggered. So if I go ahead and look at the machine and I go ahead and check the probes, they're triggered. And see, this is the problem I've been having with this probe, and it's starting to have that problem again. Let me move the Z down here a little bit, just to get that out of the way. And watch, I'm going to show you what I do here. So now, this is the frustrating part. All I have to do, now they're open. I moved Z down and the probes are open again. As you can see, the probes are open again now. Okay, now if I actually go ahead and just do any little wiggle movement on the head, let's see if I move it this way. Now it seems the probes are staying open. Okay, let's try it once more and see what happens. I'm quickly becoming a non-fan. Let's try it again. I'm quickly becoming a non-fan of this probe. If it's any consolation, you're having the same set of problems with the PEC probe for, oh, okay. There you go, Thunder. Hey, Thunder Keys, hello, hello. But yeah, I just think it's a printed probe, and we're relying on consistency in plastic, in bending plastic to get probe readings on this. And I just think it's not as accurate as can be. 3D Print Junkie from Mexico, hello, hello. I think you're new to my channel. Hello and welcome. It's an experimental thing. Exactly. This is when you go to the not the Discord, when you go to the GitHub, it does say it's an alpha version of the probe. The concept is great. And if this could be machined or something, I think the concept is perfect. It's right there. But because it's in plastic, and even though it's printed in ABS, it's still plastic. And I think it's still, I think it's still too experimental at this point to give me anything accurate. But we're doing pretty good now. See, we're staying consistent at 0.549, 549, 543. See, now we have some consistency going on it. Now we're down to 5.6. But we'll do this one, and we'll try and run that print again and see what happens. You attempted to buy the PZ probe, but the cost is pretty steep. Oh, okay. I may look at this if I can't get this to smarten itself up, or even if I can, I may actually look at seeing if I can fit a beacon probe on this. Okay, so there we go. We have the median on this is 0.530 and the standard deviation is 0.03. So we're way off the standard deviation on this. I'm not going to bother running another sample. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see if I can just get this print going again. And I want to see what happens this time. If I can at least get it going, I just want to at least get a print started to show you what's happening when the print starts. And maybe somebody has a tip as to what I need to change in the configuration to get the head to print in the proper spot. Been watching, just never wrote anything in chat. Okay, 3D. Well, I'm glad you decided to write something in chat. It's nice to see you do that. Thank you so much. There's a CNC boop kit available on AliExpress. A CNC boop kit. Interesting. Let me look a couple things up while this is heating up. I want to look up the PZ probe. See what that's all about. Oh, okay. E3D PZ probe. Oh, the E3D one. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, I definitely have to do some research into that. It's similar. It's very similar to what FlashForge has had on some of their machines for quite a while now for a probe, it looks like. It does. And then CNC boot kit. Or did you mean boot kit? Boop fastener kit. Oh, here we are. Boop on West 3D. There's a Boop Beta 3 kit over here. So this is the PZ probe that I was looking at, and it's from E3D. There should actually be one on their site. If I find their site, where's E3D here? E3D PZ probe. They're talking about it here. That looks interesting, and it's got the I'm having a brain fart here, but I have one of them hot ends. But obviously, you need the whole new hot end to do that. That may be worth looking into for sure. Where's the E3D site? What's that costing? E3D, there we are. E3D PZ probe. Do they have a price on it, or is it even available yet? Boop requires a front-mounted rail. Oh, okay. Don't want to do that. Don't want to change that up too much. It's the Revo, but it's totally different. Yeah, but I imagine it's pricey. Oh, this is pretty recent. That's from August. Okay, oh, here we go. We are moving. Let's see what happens here. We are moving. Let's see if we can get something out of this now. So we're doing our Z-tilt adjust here. Okay, right away. See, after I did that 100 probe point, it seems we're getting a really accurate reading right away. So we're getting our Z-tilt adjust to work for sure. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can get this to at least get into the printing stage so I can show you what happens. $80 for the PZ probe, Revo cold side. That's not bad. 80 US. That's like 700 Canadian. Okay, come on, Z-tilt adjust. Just work. There we go. $60 for legal fees. Yeah. There we go. Come on. Give me another reading. 35, 35. This one might work. No, we're at 0.3. We need a 0.07 tolerance. So let it go around a few more times. We're retrying again. See, and here we go. So now we're not going to be able to get. Okay, that one's working. We have a 0.350, 0.38. No, see, we're not gonna be within tolerance this time. And this one's 0.36, 0.3. We still need 0.07. Stratasys wants their cut. Yeah. Don't send it an extra 19 volts. No. Oh, this might work. We have 39, 38, 38, 39.9, 39.9. No, we'll keep retrying. Did this do it? 0.18 tolerance. We need 0.07. Come on. Yeah, see this probe, we should have had the Z-tilt adjust by now, for sure. But we're going around several times, and chances are it's going to time out, which it did. Too many retries. So, okay, you know, like a insanity, I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to heat it up, let it try one more time because the temperatures are almost right up there anyways. I want to try one more time, see if I can get it to go. It's definitely to do with this poke probe because the plastic in there is just, yeah, definitely Nick is, yeah, of course. That's why I want this to get within that tolerance. just to, I would even raise that tolerance just so I can get it to start printing, so I can show you what happens when it starts printing with the head going the wrong way. And then we can maybe try and figure out in the config file why it's doing that. But it's kind of pointless if it's not going to even let me probe the bed. I've even got my Z offset adjusted and everything is set. It's ready to print. So we'll see what happens. Okay, it started up again. Let's have a look again. Didn't take nearly as long this time. These numbers are all over the place. From 787 to 824 to 622. Yeah. No, if you can look and see the numbers, the way the numbers are going, they're all over the place here. Samples exceeded tolerance. It is frustrating, to say the least. Yeah, I know, and whereas it wasn't before. See, that's right there when we home Z, it's fine. And if I do the probe samples, it's not doing too bad, but there's very little movement on the hot end right there. Just a little bit of movement on the hot end, not much. If I give you some reference point so you can see where the hot end is moving, and I know I don't want to touch this while it's probing these samples, but it's very, very little movement, less than a millimeter. And you see here, now we're down to, see, we go 39, 41, 38, 35, 29, 35, 39. It's all over the place. And I've adjusted the sensitivity of the probe as much as I could. We're speaking hairline turns of those probe adjustment screws to get them to work. See, now we're settling in at, oh, we were at 355. A bit more rigid bed. Well, yeah, I guess this is the flexible textured PEI plate, but the bed shouldn't be the issue. Yeah, now we're down to 28, 287, 337, 312, 318. You know, now oh, the force on the corners with the belted Z. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. I did check my belt tensions because if the belt were tended to be a little loose, that could affect the readings on the corners. My belt tensions all seem to be very similar and equal and reasonably tight. So there we have a 34 standard deviation 005, and we're reading a median of 0.3495. Okay, and we're going to, just because I like beating a dead horse, one more try. And then if this doesn't give me something I need, I'm going to have to, I don't know, maybe rip the hot end apart again, try and adjust the sensitivity of that probe, or just come up with a different system for probing altogether. Move the probe point in 5 millimeters on X and Y. Okay. I can do that. I can do that. Let me go into the configuration here and see if I can see where we're going with that. So let's go into the printer config and let's find our probe points here. Okay, probe samples results, probe points. Where are our where's my probe points? Where did I put that? No, I think I'm up further. Z tilt adjust. No, I'm looking in the wrong spot. Bear with me here for a minute. Safe home, Z tilt. Here we go. Z positions, points, 5, 5, 60, 15, and 115, 5. So if I am to move my X and Y's in 5 millimeters or so, I think the gantry is moving. The gantry itself, okay, I'll show that in a minute. So if I'm gonna move my points then I guess to 10 and 10 if I'm gonna move them in 5 millimeters. But then I'm gonna have to restart this print. 10 and 10. It is 120 by 120. Why does it say 167 Z position? Oh, that's Z. That's too high anyways on that. Oh, I don't know what the Z is on this. The Z on this is a bit bigger than 120, so looked like the gantry on the left side was moving with the probe. Oh, really? Okay, well, we're starting up again here. Let's see what we can see on this. We're starting up again. I'll keep an eye on the gantry here. Now, that is a bit close to the edge of the bed. Yeah, we'll move them in because that's very close to the edge. Yeah, right now we're going to time out as it is. And I'm looking at the gantry. I'm trying to see. The gantry itself is pretty solid. I don't see movement on the gantry. Yeah, we are pretty much probing over the mounts. This one's probing in a little bit further than this one, but I think if we move them in, okay. Let's see what results we're getting here. I don't want to save that config yet because I'm in the middle of this here. Where was I? I just lost my, there we are. Yeah, it could be the camera angle that's doing that too. Yeah, it is in a little bit. If I put my finger where the mount is, and then it's probing right about there. That one's definitely way too far over. I just wanted to start a print so we can watch what's happening. Left side of the PEI sheet is about 1 to 2 millimeters over the edge. Yeah. Okay, this is going to time out any minute now. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to save and restart that. Okay, let's home this now. Let's get this, and we'll move the bed. I'll put that on to home it. That was, there we go. Okay, so let's get the bed on here proper. About like that is good. We moved it in. I just want to see if that did any effect on it. Let me do the Z tilt again. Yeah, so we moved in. So we've moved in about 5 millimeters here. Okay, so that is, but we're not getting any accurate numbers here at all. And I kind of wonder, yeah, we timed out again, exceeded tolerances. So I kind of wonder if the if I need to go in and adjust the probe itself. About to try high temperature printing for the first time. Very cool. Okay. So we were able to move the probe in. Let me try just once more. I just want to see how the probe accuracy samples is going to work now. What kind of numbers we're going to get on this. So we start at, okay, we're getting 30, 42, 39, 42, 41, 42, 42. See, that's all over the place again. So I honestly think it's an issue with the probe itself. The bed is nice and solid. So, and there's a tiny bit of movement on the hot end when the probe hits, when the nozzle hits, but that's to be expected. Can you get 45-degree overhangs if you go slow? Possibly. Can you tighten the front two hot end screws anymore? I can. I will try. I've pretty much snug them down, but let me see if I can. Looks like we're staying steady around the 41 something here. No, now we're up to 43, 44.9, 45.5, 46.2, 48.0, and it lasts, you know, earlier it was climbing up to about 57.57 for these accuracy counts. All over the place. Okay, so that done. Now if I do a Z tilt, let's just see what I get here. See, right away. Right away. Right away. See, after I run that 100 probe accuracy count, it seems to settle the probe in, but then the longer I let it sit, then it seems things just seem to go back and become inaccurate again. See, we're probably going to get a successful Z-tilt adjust here. Let's see. .012. Not nearly as many retries in each point. Now we still have 0.012 tolerance. I'm tempted to go change that tolerance so that it's way off, but I just want you guys to see what happens when the print goes to start. There we go, 0.006. We got a successful Z-tilt adjust right there. You can see we got 0.006 tolerance. All right, we got a range of 0.006 and we got a 0.007 tolerance, so it successfully did it. So now let's go ahead and start this print and see if we can duplicate that. Fortunately, the bed is still pretty warm. Oh, in the meantime, I was going to just see if these front screws can be tightened. Yeah, I can snug them up a little more. Okay. Half a turn each, but they're very tight. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see what happens. And right now, it's not going to tell me because it's actually down printing a file. I was going to check the status of the end stops, but no. Well, it just caught up and all the probes were open, which is good, which is what I want to see. Okay, bed's heated. We're heating the hot end. Let's go ahead, keep an eye and see what it does. See if it will do a successful Z-tilt adjust again this time. I could tighten that one belt just a little bit here, but I'm going to leave it for now. Hopefully I can get it to start printing so it'll fail. I know that sounds silly, but it's going to print in the wrong direction, and I do not know why. Okay, hot end's getting there now. And it should start up shortly here, guys. That's bright in the camera. That's very bright in the camera. Like a neon pinkish. Okay, we're at 200 on the hot end. A couple more degrees to go here, and we're going to hopefully get this sucker to start up, but I definitely have to look into a different probe system for this. Definitely. Or go the old route and put the Z end stop in there and then just figure out my Z offset manually the way we always did on the old 0.1s, but it'd be nice to have a probe in here. Here we go. We're going to home, we're going to probe, and I'm crossing my fingers that we're going to print or attempt to print. Okay, let's get some Z-tilt adjust accuracy here. Oh no, they're all over the place again. Come on. See, it's almost like that plastic in the probe settled while it was sitting and waiting. It's almost like it settled, and now it's not going to give me an accurate reading. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, exceeded tolerance. Samples exceeded tolerance. That is frustrating. It did it fine after I did the 100 sample testing for the tolerance on it, and then that broke in the probe. It did whatever it does to the little plastic pieces and settled them in. Then it let me do a Z-tilt adjust, no problem, because this was it. But then when this is sitting and settling, or maybe it's the heat. Maybe the heat from heating the hot end is doing something to this. Maybe I should be doing, let's do that. Let's just do that for fun. Let's go ahead and heat the hot end up to 220. Then we will do the Then we'll do the probe accuracy 100 samples. Maybe there's a little bit of heat coming up from the hot end affecting this, you know, maybe it's affecting this little piece because of the hotter hot end, and it's not giving me an accurate reading because when I do the probe accuracy samples, it's the hot end's not heated. So maybe I'm loving the idea of getting a beacon probe on this, even though it's overkill. It would just go bzz, 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 done. But let's heat it up. Okay, there we go. We're heated up. Okay, so we have our hot end heated up here. We're just shy of 220. Let's go ahead and do the probe accuracy samples again. Oops, I got to home it first. Sorry, my bad. I've got to home it. And then we'll do that again. Okay, we're homed. Hot end's hot. Now we'll do the samples with a hot end. See what happens here. See, we're down to 26 now, whereas we were up in the 40s last time, although this could very well climb. But I shouldn't have to break in the probe every time I want to do a print. Now we're staying down around the 26 mark. Huge difference with a hot end. Look how consistent that's staying now. Look at those numbers. They're not moving. Like, wow. Almost looks like it's frozen, but it's not. The numbers are staying consistent at 262. There's a couple changes there. Okay, and as soon as this is done, hot end's hot. Actually, I'm going to warm up the bed right now. Get the bed warm so that we can print right away and see if that's going to work. Okay. And we're going to print this right away. We'll do a print right away and see what happens. Hot end's already hot. Fingers crossed. All this for the fact that it's going to print, it's going to fail when it starts printing. Hey, Petty Ruxpin. But at least that way you guys will have a look and see what it's doing and say, oh, you got to reverse this or reverse that. I wonder if it could be something in the slicer, possibly. No, because it's a standard Voron 0 profile, so 0.1 profile. We'll see what happens. Okay, bed's at 55. We're going to start printing any second here. There we go. We're going to home. Home Z, and let's do the Z tilt adjust now, which will probably work. Nope. Nope. Oh, there we go. We got one. So heating up the hot end to do the samples and break it in was not necessarily the answer, was it? Well, that one was quick. There we go, 37.1, 37.1. Oh, if I can get some 37s here. Oh, 0.02 tolerance. Come on. 37.9, 37.3, 37.9. Give me some 37 numbers here. No, 38s. We're coming close. Here, I'll show you the numbers here. Oh, that one was perfect. Are we going to have some 40s here now? No, 39.5, 39.5. We still have a 0.01 tolerance. We need to get to 0.007. And then again, we're all over the place on this one. Come on. No, still way off on the tolerance. 386, 380, 368. Too many tries. So the closest we could get was 0.0125. And that is not accurate enough. So that probe, I don't like the probe. Everything's working good. The motion system's working fine. Hot end's working fine. Bed's heating up. Homeless sensoring's working fine. It's that damn probe. So what I'll do, for anybody that wants to stick around and watch it, we're going to do a draw in about another 30 minutes. So anybody that wants to stick around or just leave it on in the background listening to me, I'm going to pop the hot end off, and I'm going to see if there's any more room for adjusting that probe, and I'll show you how the probe gets adjusted. Because this bed is solid. I mean, yeah, I could put I suppose I could put a smooth bed on it, but I don't necessarily always want to print with a smooth bed just because of the kind of probe that I'm using. So, yeah. Barbie should be spewing filament about now, and she's not. So we're going to let that hot end cool down a little bit. And then I'm going to take the hot end apart. We're going to pull it out. Actually, I've got to pull the filament out. So hang on, give me a second here. I'm going to pull the filament out, and then oh, the filament broke. Oh, the filament was, yeah, okay. I think we are good actually to cool down now. Yeah, let's cool it down. We'll pop the hot end out. We'll see if I can't do any more fine-tune adjusting on that probe. I mean, that's all I can think of to do. So, what probe? It's called a poke probe. And I'll show you what the probe looks like when we pull it apart here. The concept is great, but I think, I just think it's in the alpha stage right now, and I think printing it out of plastic, whether it be PLA, PET, GASA, ABS, etc., I think the issue is that there's too much flexibility. Number one, if you're probing when it's cold, probing when it's hot, it's going to make a little bit of a difference. Because of course, I can feel heat up into the hot end up here. It's just a little bit of radiating heat that's happening, right? So once this cools down, I'm going to power down. We'll pop off the hot end. I'll show you the probe. I'll show you how I adjust the sensitivity of the probe. You love that I named it Barbie. Well, that was a suggestion from one of my viewers to name it Barbie because of all the pink on her. So yeah, and it is pretty. If I switch, while it's cooling down, we can do this. I can switch to this camera, and if we back it up, if we back this out a little bit, overall, it's a nice looking printer. There we are. Everything down to her feet, and everything like that. It's supposed to be dual color hot end, but I figured all pink is good. So yeah. And then that's Barbie's rear side, back side here. We went with a larger main board, so we had to actually put an external pie on it. So I've mounted the pie over to this side. And then there's a couple little accent pieces to go on yet. On the bottom, on the sides, these are some fan covers because we're going to have some fans underneath for cooling off the power supply. So, oh, hey, Petty Rexpin. Okay, so we're down to 66. As soon as this thing hits around 50, we're going to power it off. Matter of fact, I can probably power it off now. We're not going to worry about melting any parts at 63 degrees. So let's power you off. Okay, and you are shut down. Okay, now I'm just going to disconnect the cables for the hot end. I had it all nice and tied up here, but that's all right. Just so I can pop the hot end off. There we go. And I've got everything on the hot end here. Let me get the overhead camera here. Everything on the hot end is on a plug so that I can actually easily disassemble it. I was going to go with a breakout board, but just for the sake of getting this build done, because it's been a long build, I just decided to go with individual plugs for everything on the hot end, which works fine. Does what it's supposed to do. Okay, and there's the probe. There we go. So we're all unplugged here. Okay, let's pop her off. Thank you. This was a long build. This was way above my pay grade, this build, but I had a lot of help from the community, which was great. Okay. So we'll take this out. I'll show you how the probe is working. Okay. Oh, it helps if I undo all the necessary screws to get this off, doesn't it? Actually, all I got to do is undo these top ones here. That'll be fine. This little guy and this little guy. There we go. Okay. And here we are, Barbie's hot end. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to show you. Let's see if I can do this. I'll sit down here a minute. See if I can get this camera, this other camera here, to get a good angle to show you what's going on down here. There we go. So I will try and do my best here. Oh, wrong angle. We'll cut to this one. So there we go. So the probe, so if you look at this piece here, which is the printed part of the probe, okay, and there is a complex sort of structure inside with all these little flexible fins. So this part of the probe you're looking at right now. It sits on the top of the Dragon hot end like so. Okay, so that's what you're seeing in there. So there's the Dragon hot end here attached to this probe here. Now you can see some wires coming out of right there. Okay, now those wires, yeah, I got to undo everything here in order to test this probe. So, well, in order to get at the adjustment screw for the probe, I actually take this right out. So I'm just going to remove these wires for the hot end fan cables and heater cables. Okay, just to make sure everything's going to come out of here. Okay, like so. Okay, and then this will just lift out. Mind you, I got a PTFE tube in there, so that'll just kind of lift out just like that. Okay, so that all mounts into this piece here. Okay, and then you got the holes through the back here that are going onto the gantry. So what happens here now is there is a small piece of plastic inside in between. Now you can't really see it because it's very thin. but there's a small piece of plastic that goes in between the poke probe and the dragon here to give it that little bit of thickness so it moves, so that the dragon doesn't actually bottom out on the actual poke probe itself. Okay, and then what happens now is underneath this side, so there's 2 set screws that go in here, and what those set screws do is those set screws and there's also another set screw that goes in, it's under the dragon, but it goes into the plastic on the top, and then there's a set screw you can see right there. Oh, get out of the way, this piece. Set screw you can see right there that screws into the bottom. Now those set screws come in contact with these set screws, which is what connects the wires. So the wires, the bottom wire here, this set screw, if I loosen it, this bottom wire will pop out. This set screw tightens the wire against this set screw. Okay, and then the same thing happens on the top if I take the hot end off, which I'm not. There's another set screw on top here of the poke probe that this tightens against to have the other wire. It doesn't matter what color wires, just 2 wires, because all these are is contact probes. Okay, and then so the wire from this one is just running up through the hole in this, and both wires are coming out the top of the probe. Now, the object is, and the way to test this and the way to set it, let me just go grab, I need to grab my multimeter. Here we go. So I got my multimeter here. It's a great concept. I just don't know if it's consistent enough because this piece is made out of plastic. Now, if this piece were made out of machined or something where these things are consistent, like aluminum or whatever they would be, so that there's not a lot of give and take in them. I don't know. I honestly don't know the complete answer to this. But so what I have to do first is I have to bare my wires here. Bear with me. Get it? Bare my wires. You got to bear with me while I bare my wires. So I just have this little tool here that I'm just going to use to pop my pins out. And then I will show you how I kind of fine-tune this probe. So this, come on out. So that one's out, and come on. That one's out. Okay, there we go. So again, colors are irrelevant on these. These are just open and closed, period, for the probe. So now we turn our meter on to I don't even know what that mode is called, but it's where we're testing that we have a current going through. We take these ends off and we test, and you can hear that. Okay, that we have a connection. Sorry, I'll back this up a little bit because it's a little close to the camera. So now, this is hard to do with one hand, or with one person with one hand, but I'm going to try this. So, and again, it doesn't matter if I have the black or red connected to either one. So now when I connect these, so that means that the probe continuity. Thank you, Guy. Continuity. I lost the word. So now when I connect these, I have a connection on the probe, which is what I want. Okay, now the object on this, see if I can do this with one hand so I can pick up that hot end. Now the object here is, watch this, when I push on the hot end, it breaks that connection. And this is very sensitive right now. I am hardly pushing on that, which is what I want. Okay, so I've got a little bit, I can't even, I'm barely pushing on that in order to break that continuity. Okay, so that's the way you want it. That's when the probe is open. That's when it's triggered. Open, triggered. So it's not a lot of pressure, as you can see. Now the way to adjust that is we take our little, this guy. So we take this guy. The way to adjust that is to go into this set screw right here. And right now we have continuity. So let's go ahead and do this. Again, this is hard with just one hand, with one set of hands, but we're going to show you anyway. And I'm going to see if I can fine tune it a little bit more. So here we have our come on. Here we have our continuity. There we go. Now, Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. That is just me not being able to hold these connections on. There we go. Come on. I think I got it now. Now, if I turn this just slightly, there we go. I hardly turned it, and there's no connection now. The idea to tune this is to turn it just until, oh, not quite, not quite. That's not consistent enough. There we go. We want a consistent beep. So now, when the nozzle hits the bed, like that, there we go. And like, you can hardly see my hand moving. Little bit of weight on my fingers there. Take it off. You can hardly see that. You can really hardly see that I'm pushing at all. But that is fine tune adjusted right there. It's not like I'm yanking it down. So that is adjusted as fine as I can adjust that thing right there. Okay. So let me turn my meter off, because that beeping is making my dog go crazy. I can imagine the dog can hear that more than I can hear it. So that probe is adjusted as sensitive as I can adjust it right now myself. So let's go ahead and let's put it back together. Excuse me. And as long as, I mean, there's nothing I can do to change that as long as I don't turn that screw. And that's why that screw is kind of countersunk in there a fair bit, so that I really can't effectively change that now by putting the hot end, mounting the hot end back in the hot end. You know what I'm trying to say. So we're going to slide this back in, push it up for the PTFE tube. And there we are. That's mounted back in where it's supposed to go. Okay. So I'm walking through this like this so that you guys can see that I am doing everything correctly and adjusting this probe correctly and trying to get this to work. So let's go ahead and put a zip tie in here and get these cables sort of organized a bit. Helps if I put the zip tie in the correct way. Hey, Sergio. Okay, we're going to make sure that these are all out of the way and that these probe wires are down, so that when we tighten this on, so right here, we want to make sure that there's no wires or something impeding on this for when we tighten that down to, so that's good. So when we tighten that down onto the gantry here, we want to make sure that it gets a nice solid connection onto the gantry. So in order to do that, we just want to make sure that there's nothing interfering with that. So that's why I'm pulling all these wires off to the side, kind of like so that we can get in and get a nice solid connection on the gantry, which is what we want. Okay. And then we're going to get a zip tie for this side. Oh, guys, if you guys use a lot of zip ties, look at that. That is a bag of 1,000 zip ties. Ooh, huge bag. Okay, so let's get these all lined up in here. Okay, and now that this is in, and these are kind of zip tied in, and I know what you're thinking, and don't worry, I'm going to do it. Okay, there we go. So that's everything snug as a bug and a bad bug in there. Now again, the hot end is loose right now, yeah, because we haven't screwed it onto the gantry yet. But now, before I do anything else, we're going to grab the meter again. Whoa! Drop the other one on the floor, grab this one. And we're going to do the continuity test one more time to make sure that we are still as sensitive as we want to be. Okay, so we're going to grab our black and red wires. Again, it doesn't matter. I can put red on black, black on red. We should have continuity here. And, oops, helps if I turn the meter on. Okay, and let's see, and we don't. Okay, so, and that's why we test it. So right now, I've got these two connected and there is no continuity. It doesn't matter if it's black and red or red and black. Okay, there's no continuity here. So I find, oh, there we go. Hang on. Oh, my two probes touched. So there, we have no continuity on this. Oh, see if I tap it, it's working. And that's how sensitive it is right there. But that's inconsistent. See how you hear that little skipping? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this. I don't want to pop this whole thing out again if I don't have to. Well, you know what? I have to. Okay, we're going to make another fine-tune adjustment on that. Maybe not quite as sensitive. Maybe like a 16th or a 32nd or a 64th of a turn here. But the tighter we turn it, or the less sensitive we make it, the harder it's got to push on the bed. And we don't want it to be pushing hard on the bed. So I'm going to pop this out again. Okay, and I'm just going to give it, I'm tightening it now, but just that, like that, that was, I hardly moved it. And let's do this. We have it down here. Before we put the zip ties on, let's give it one more test here. Okay, so let's just see, and no, are we working? Yeah, but no. Did I turn it the wrong way? I'm sure I didn't. Well, let's pop it right out here. Okay, let's pop this right out. Let's see what's going on. This is, again, fussy probe. If it was a beacon probe, I'd have this thing all set by now. But I don't have a beacon probe. Okay, now when it's out of there for some reason, I'm getting continuity. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's see if I can hold this with my hands. Let's tighten this down. Oh, wrong one. Come on. Tighten this down just a little. There we go. Okay. Okie doke. We'll tighten that down a little bit. We'll pop this back in here. Okay, let's test it now. Okay, we're good. Let's get our zip ties in here, and we'll do another test. And it's tedious. It's very tedious because I want to test this at every stage to make sure, because you have to take this apart like this every time you want to make an adjustment to the sensitivity of that. But that's the nature of this particular probe. Okay. Okay. One more zip tie, and I think we're going to be okay this time. Because and again, you don't want to be pushing on the bed too hard with the nozzle, because then you're going to actually start twisting the whole hot end, and that's not the idea. Okay, there we go. So we have that set in there nicely, just like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and give it another test before we put the plugs back on. Okay, so let's go connect. Okay, that's good. So, okay, so now let's test the sensitivity of it. So we have connection here now. I'm just going to get these. There we go. Now, if I touch the nozzle, and that's what we want right there. I'm not pushing too hard on the nozzle at all. Okay. So we're fine. I'm considering that good. Now I can actually, well, I'm not going to put the probe away quite yet. I'm not going to put the meter away quite yet. I'm going to do one more thing. We're going to mount this back on before we actually put the wires back on this to plug it in. So let's mount it back on. Okay, so let's come here and let's go ahead and mount it back on the hot end. On the gantry, sorry. Like so. Okay, and here's our screws. Oh, I just dropped one on the floor. Okay, the other one. Okay, here we go. So we'll just snug that for a minute. And then we're going to grab the, where did that screw fall to? That's okay. I'm going to grab another one here, M36. Was it a button head? It was a button head. Okay. Okay, take these guys, tighten this back on in the back, make sure our hot end is nice and snug. There we go. Here we go. And we'll snug up these two guys, make sure we're nice and solid in here. Yeah. And yep, and it is nice and solid in there. Now we're going to do another test, another continuity test here. We should still be beeping. Good. Okay, and let's check the nozzle. I can't fit my hand in there. Let's see, what can I put in there? Anything. Here. Oh. Okay, so there we are. I'm at an odd angle here, but it is working. Okay, I just moved my bed way down, way out of whack. Okay, so that's good. So let's go ahead and put this plug back on. This is going this way, and these are going on the inside ones here. Make sure I get this connector back in properly. There we go. And was it the inside or the outside one I didn't want? I think this is the way. I think this is the right way here. Okay, and we make sure that these are on there good. This red one needs a little assistance. It's got that little piece that sticks up that holds it into the clip here. And there we are. Okay, let's go ahead and connect everything up here again. Okay, another 10 or 11 minutes, we're going to do the draw. I know that's what you're all sticking around for, which is cool. Okay, so there are, let me make sure that I have the right wires coming out here. We have our thin ones are our cooling fans. It's these two. So we have a part cooling fan coming from this side. Which one are you? Right here. I got these plugs kind of oriented so that I don't mess them up. And there we go. And let's see. Thermostat right here. And then we have our extruder right here. And we have our hot end fan. And last but least, this should be our heater. And heater. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to zip these up a little bit here to just to make sure I don't drag any wires here. Just get these up out of the way a little bit here. Okay, this will work for now for what we want, for what I want to test. Okay, so here we are now. So I'm going to power it on. No smoke. Put my meter away. Let's see what happens. So we've basically adjusted that probe to the lowest sensitivity we can, without having issues with it. Being I could go more sensitive, but as you saw, each stage of the assembly, it would fail. So we have to go a little less sensitive each time until we get some consistency with it. So let's see what happens here now. Pick up this meter I dropped while we're waiting for that to boot up. Put my plugs back on my meter. This musical interlude is brought to you by no one. Okay. Let's see if we're booted up yet. Here, I'll just share the excitement right there with the clipper screen. With clipper. We're not quite yet. We're getting there. Hey, Mark. How are you, sir? So we'll do the draw pretty shortly here, guys. And the rules are always, if you've won within the last, I think I said 6 weeks, please pass it on. Let's reload here, see if we can't get this thing to work. Tell me it didn't change IPs again. It has a habit of changing IP sometimes. Let's close this and see. It should be 89. Oh, you're going to tell me that the IP has changed, aren't you? Because we are all booted up. Oh, this is the frustrating part. Sometimes it changes IPs because I cannot get the .local to work here. So let me do a quick IP scan and see where we stuck the IP this time. What is the date today? Today is September 8th. The 8th of September. I'm going to write that down for today's winner, whoever that's going to be. 8th. Last week, 3D Experiments was the lucky winner, and prior to that, Dean was the lucky winner. It looks like we may have moved to 60. Seriously, from 89 to 60? Let's have a look and see if Barbie's at 60. Is this Barbie? I don't think I have any other printers turned on. No, this is the Trident. The Trident must still be turned on. Yeah, it's still on. Why is the Trident still on? Okay, that's not the right printer. Let's see if 89 works now. It's not going to work. Let's see. 224 says it's main sale, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the same one, 224. Or is it? No, that's my 2.4. Why? I thought I obviously I leave the power on these printers. Okay, so we're not getting anything. So let's restart her. She's not throwing out an IP address on that first try. Everything here is connected properly, so it's nothing to do with my hot end connection. She's playing hard to get. Hey, BB's 3D. Hello. Oh, Jose, you don't need to enter. You're going to be, actually, I'll start that right now. It's 6:25. We'll do it for 5 minutes. You're going to enter something in chat. I'll get the giveaway tool going right now. And then you guys can all enter while we get this started. And there we go. And you're going to enter hashtag Polymaker And we'll start collecting comments and right here. So go ahead, everybody in chat, go ahead and enter this into chat and you'll be entered into the draw. Again, if you've won within the last 6 weeks, you're not going to be eligible. I will let you know if that is it because that's going to be going back to August 11th. So there's only 3 people not eligible, and I don't think those 3 people are on stream tonight. So there we go. Enter for your chance to win some amazing Polymaker filament. Okay, let's see. I'm going to switch windows while you do that, and I'll switch back to this window, but I want to see if this has picked up an IP yet. And she has not picked up an IP. We're going to have a whole different problem here now, aren't we? Why does Barbie not want to throw me an IP address now? Lordy, lordy, I don't know. If it's not one thing, it's another. Let's see, the Pi is on. Let's pop the Pi off of here. Go ahead and enter, guys. What's going to happen is I've got no power coming into the Pi. Why? Pi power? Power? My Pi is not powering up. Oh, man. Okay. Let's just see what's going on here. That's why I'm not getting an IP, because I got no power to the Pi. Power to the Piple. Did I wire that one thing up wrong? Well, that should not affect the power to the Pi. Okay, I'm going to figure something out here. You guys keep entering. I've got no power coming to the Pi. So what we'll do the draw first. 22 entries, awesome. 31 people watching, 22 entries to the draw. We'll do the draw first, then I've got to look into see why my Raspberry Pi now has no power. Barbie, you've been difficult this whole time. Barbie does not like me. I think that's pretty much what it boils down to. Okay, guys, so enter hashtag Polymaker if you'd like to win a spool of Polymaker filament. So what's going to happen, if you are lucky enough to win the filament, what's going to happen is I'm going to post my email address in chat. You're going to email me, so I yes, it did work before, Mark, earlier on the stream. You're going to email me so I can get your email address, and I will then email you a link and a code to claim your Polymaker filament. Okie doke. So we're going to go, we're at 6:29. As soon as my clock strikes 6:30, we're going to do that. There we go. Last second entry by Tor. Atlantic Adventures. Look at that. 25 people, 32 people on chat. I know some people are not eligible, so they will not enter, but those who are eligible, you'll know if you're not eligible. So if you know you're not, if you know you are eligible, just enter. Enter, enter, enter. If you win, you will gift it. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you, Atlantic Adventures, and hello, hello. Okay, so we have 26, and we're counting down to the 6:30 p.m. time clock. And then if you so feel like doing it afterwards, stick around and see why my Pi won't power. So does the power supply have power? Yes, the Pi is being powered from the main board on Barbie, and the main board on Barbie is powered for sure. So something is going on with Barbie's power. She's coming up to the thin one, and she's being powered by USB. And that's the only USB I can power her by. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's just see. Plug it in. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. Maybe I should try plugging it in. Although I shouldn't knock that because yeah, I'll have to have a look and see, Nick. I do have a separate 5-volt power supply I can try it with, but let's see. Okay, let's do the draw. We have 26 entries. Good luck to everybody. We're going to do the draw for a roll of Polymaker filament of your choosing, and let's see who this week's winner is. Ready in 3, 2, 1, and draw. Good luck to everybody. Today's winner is Russ Gare. Russ Gare. Congratulations. Say something in chat, Russ. Russ Gare, are you still in chat? Congratulations. You got to be in chat to win. There you go, Russ. Congratulations, Russ. So go ahead, Russ, email me at that address I just put there. It's really simple to remember, dwit3dcanada@gmail.com. Go ahead, email me there, and either tonight, depending on when you email me, tonight or tomorrow morning when I get to the office, I will go ahead and send you the link and the code to redeem for your free spool of Polymaker filament. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Okay, so Pi power supply. Data into the data. Power for the power supply into the USB 5-volt power on the main board. Now you will notice that from the rear, when I power this up, you should see lights go on the main board. Right there, you see those green lights that just shone up on the main board. We have power to the main board. We have no power coming into the Pi. The Pi is not powering. Okay, I'm going to pop this off. Okay, I'm going to pop that off. I'm going to take the Pi out of its enclosure for a minute. All I did was, you guys saw me. All I did was power down the printer, pop the hot end off. Actually, not that this would affect it, but let me look at one thing here. Let me look at one thing. When I put that probe back on, I wasn't sure about the orientation of those pins, but that should not affect it. But I'm going to go BTT octopus pin out. I want to see the pin out on this board. I want to check one thing here. And if I can blow that up, I'm pretty sure that the square one was 3 volts. Oh, maybe I did. I did have that in the wrong spot. Okay, now the inside one. No, hang on. Yeah. Is it going to be as simple as that? I put these pins back in the wrong spot. What? But why would that affect? I don't ask questions. I just have to move. I just have to move one of these pins. I had one of these going into the 3 volt for the probe, and there shouldn't be any power. It should just go into the ground and the signal. So all I got to do is move the red one over to this side, and like so. Then we'll plug it in, and then we'll turn it on. I can't imagine this would affect the power to the Pi, but who knows? When I plugged that in, I was like, is this the right one? But let's just see. Let's plug the Pi power in, and Pi signal. Let's see what happens. That was it. That is odd. Pi's working now. Okay. Now we have the Pi working. So what I did wrong was the probe connector wire. There on the plug on the main board, there is a ground, a signal, and a 3 volt. I'd mixed up, and I actually plugged one of the connectors into the 3 volt. So there was 3 volts going nowhere, really, unless it was doing an electrical loop, and it was somehow tied into the Pi. And anyways, Pi's booted up now. This free spool giveaway is great. You can actually get 2 ABS spools for under $10 with these codes. So you're not only getting one for free, you're also getting another for $9. Oh, awesome, Leo. I didn't know that. Well, that's good to know. Perfect. And there is a giveaway. Thank you to Polymaker for making this possible too. Polymaker is a partner of my channel. You see, I do have a lot of Polymaker filament on the floor, and we have a lot of new Polymaker filament over here. We have the Fiberon and the Panchrome we're going to be testing with. And we're also going to be showing off and opening these poly dryers, one of these streams coming up. So yeah, 3 volt going to ground. Yeah, it affected the Pi somehow, but I don't claim to understand these motherboards. Okay, so let me go ahead now. If I go ahead and close all this and poof, now we should be able to get our IP, and let's see, and there she is. Barbie's alive. There she is. Okay, cool. So now that Barbie's alive, let's go ahead and test this probe that we just put on. First thing I'm going to do is home. We're going to homer. Let's go back to here. We'll homer. Not Homer Simpson, we'll just homer. Using the Fiberon PET CF right now. Pretty strong stuff. It is, isn't it? I use that for a project quickly here, but I've got to actually do a lot of testing on some of this stuff. Okay, so we homed. Did that actually home the Z? I didn't even look. I didn't even see that. And for those that don't know and are just tuning in tonight, we are using sensorless homing on this. Oh, and it did home Z. There we go. Okay. We're going to do a probe. Now we're going to do what we call, as you all have seen, probe accuracy samples. Let's just make sure the probe is going to be accurate here. So we're going to see what kind of numbers we're going to get. And right away, we're getting all 399.5s right from the get-go. That is a good sign. We jumped up a bit there, but that's okay. So the more accurate these numbers stay, the better. So we're 399.5 for the most part, with the odd jump up to 41, but it looks like, oh, now we're staying into the fours, 399.5 again. So, okay, we'll let this go, and we're going to see if we can get a Z tilt adjust, accurate Z tilt adjust. This is 120 by 120 Atlantic Adventures on Barbie. It's the same. Barbie is a Voron 0. That I had a Voron 0.1. Barbie is a Voron 0.1 who has been converted to a Tri-Zero, which is basically a miniature Trident, a Tri-Zero with a box frame, with a taller box frame. Hey, 3D Experiments. It is a small build plate. It really is, but it's fun to work on her. Yeah, Barbie's not that big. Now you can actually see, you can see the probes going, and it's staying, we're in that 399, 393 range pretty accurately. And you can see now we're getting a little more movement on the head because I had to adjust the sensitivity of it. So I'm seeing a little bit more movement on the head when the nozzle hits the bed. And there we go. Let's do a Z tilt adjust and see what we get. Let's see if we can actually get a Z tilt adjust within the first try. No. How close to the back of the bed are we? Oh, we're in 10 millimeters. We're good. Okay, so far so good. You're a bamboo fanboy for years, but now the anchor make is treating me good. Oh, nice. Oh, we may actually get a Z tilt adjust out of this. Then we'll try that test print one more time. Mind you, I don't have any filament in the head, but that's okay. I'm going to do a test print, as funny as this sounds, if we can get this to work. I'm going to do a test print without filament because it won't work anyways. I want to see that bed go backwards, or the head go backwards. We may not even get a good Z tilt. So this is basically, I'm not a fan of this probe, is what it boils down to. Okay, we might actually get a Z tilt adjust out of this. If this goes good without pausing here, oh, this might actually work right here. Yeah, bed level isn't as critical for sure. Oh, look at that tolerance. Look at the tolerance we got here. We got a range right now of 0.0. Look at this. How often do you see that? 0.00000. It means our bed, our Z tilt adjust is perfect. Like we are perfect 100%. Because the tolerance is 0.007. So maybe that little probe adjust did good here, but look at that. I've never seen that on any of my Vorons. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so with that said, let's see if I can let's just try this print start once more. That is, I should take a screenshot of that because that's a first for me. Oh, the 3.3 volt comes from the 5 volt, short out the 3.3 and pulls the 5 down as well. Ah, okay, Mr. Logan, that's why my Pi didn't work. Okay. I thought I'd be smart and remember exactly where those plugs went, but obviously I didn't remember. I just got to remember the 3 volt plug is actually the plug facing the inside, towards the inside of the card. Okay, so we're going to let this heat up. Fortunately, the bed is almost up to heat anyways. It's 48 degrees. And we're going to see. Now, you know, I don't have filament going in it because I want to show what's going to happen when the print starts is what I've been trying to do all night. And I'm going to have to continue this after, but that's okay. When the print starts, it's going to want to print towards the back of the bed. It's going to want to go off the back of the bed. And I need to figure out why in my configuration, what have I got set wrong that's causing it to do this. So we'll see. We will see. Going to PCB clicky. You're tonight you're going to PCB clicky. Okay. Probe is being so inconsistent lately. Yeah. I'm going to actually see no magic smoke, Makusa. No. I'm going to actually Musaka. I'm going to actually see if I can't fit a beacon probe on this. I like the beacon probe. I got it on the 2.4. I've got it on the Trident. I had it on my rat rig before I sold the rat rig. And the beacon probe was just so consistent with everything. Okay, we are heated on the hot end. We're heated. The bed is heated. Hot end is heating. Why is my hot end fan not going? Why is my fan not turning? It should be. Okay, okay. Let's see my wires here. Make sure. Did I miss one? Did I plug it in wrong? I don't think I did, but oh man, it's because I'm rushing everything here. I don't want to unplug the hot end. Well, it's not so bad for the hot end fan, but no, those are plugged in, right? There's always one thing going on or another. I wonder if I blew my hot end fan. Yeah. Yeah, I've got an error now here. So I think by plugging in that probe in the wrong spot, I might have screwed something up. Yeah. Wow. No, there's no smoke coming out, no blue smoke, but man, if I fried my board, I'm going to be a little disappointed. Might have fried a MOSFET for one of my fans. That's would be scary if I did that. Barbie, you've been nothing but a pain in my bleep bleep this whole build series. So that's plugged into the right one. I'm 100% sure of that. Let's just see and make sure. Okay, well, this is going. I've just got to check. I just got to check some wiring out here. So we've restarted. I'm going to just double check something here. Let me just undo all these clips. Only got a few minutes left in the stream. Well, 15 minutes left or so. Just want to make sure I'm not cutting any wires. That is all I need. That's why live streaming is not for the faint of heart, because this stuff happens. It happens. And you just have to be able to patiently figure out why what's happening is happening. And sometimes it's user error, which in my case usually is. and things just happen. Okay, so I have, these are going to my two, this is my cooling fans. These are my part cooling fans. And that is correct. Okay. This is my hot end fan. That was definitely going to the wrong place. I need to label these wires a little better. I'm not going to tell you what I'd screwed up here. It's too embarrassing. Told you, user error. I am not going to tell you where I had what plugged into here. I am not. There goes my hot end fan. I'm not going to tell you. I'm impressed that it actually tried to heat up with that. Holy cow. There we go. We have a hot end fan. We have the hot end fan working now. No, I didn't blow the 3 volts. I'm not going to tell you. That's way too embarrassing. That's what I get for not labeling my wires more efficiently. That is too bad. That's terrible. Holy crap. If you want to know, I'll tell you, but I don't know if anybody really wants to know what I just did. That's embarrassing. There we go. Okay, this should work. Let me start up now. Oof. Tell us. I had my nozzle heater, I had my heater plugged into my cooling fan, my hot end fan, and I had my hot end fan plugged into the heater. That's because I used the same color wires. So from the board, the nozzle, the heater was going to the hot end fan, and the hot end fan was going to the heater. The hot end was heating up. Weird. Anyways, it's all fine now. Plug the board fan into the hot end. Pretty much. Hey, Mad Cat. So now that that's straightened out, let's try this again. Let's try this again. One more time. We have time to try it one more time to see if it's actually going to print. And again, if you're just joining me and you say, hey, he doesn't have any filament in his hot end, that's good. I don't want filament in it. I just now print some Peak. Yeah, okay, good. You buy me the Peak 3D experiments, I'll print it. That stuff's expensive. I don't have any filament in here on purpose because the one time I did get her to start printing, she started printing off the back of the bed. And it didn't work. And I want to see if it's going to do that again. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Then I'll just throw some filament in next time. But it started printing off the back of the bed. So I think I've got something in my printer config somehow mixed up because if it prints off the back of the bed, because I am using, and what I use to slice the file and send the file is I used Bamboo Studio, but I'm using a Voron 0 profile in Bamboo Studio, which should work on this. So unless I have to use a Trident profile and then just shrink the bed size on the Trident, I don't know. Anyways, bed's heated up. Here goes the hot end. We'll see what happens. Peak is a, you'll send me 2 meters of Peak. Oh my goodness. Yeah, read that, Mark. Very, very expensive, very high-end filament printed at very high temperatures. I don't think I'm going to be able to get Peak on this. I could probably print Peak on this or one of my other Vorons there, 3D experiments. But no, don't. I don't want you to send something that expensive. 2 meters of it. I could print. What could I print with 2 meters of Peak? I'd probably love to use Peak or something like that on that tool that I just made. So what's going on in the back of this camera? Oh, there we go. So a purge line. Yes, a Peak purge line. I think you got to print Peak at what, 280, 290? for peak, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that Vision Minor sells peak, and it is expensive. Okay, we got our hot end heating up now. So here, I'm going to switch to this camera, and we're going to see. Here, let me zoom this in before it starts, and then we'll see which way the print starts going. Well, it's going to do its Z-tilt adjust anyways first. And we're at 218, so this should start up any second. Do I have a printer that can do peak? I don't know. Probably one of either my Trident or my 2.4 should. Okay, here we go. Rolling good, and if we get a Z-tilt adjust successful right now, I will be happy. Even if it's not going to print the proper way, as long as I can get a Z-tilt adjust, I'll be happy. That means that I've got the probe set properly now. This is a good sign right now. Oh, this is a really good sign. Am I going to get a 0-0? Oh, 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 oh. Oh, we did. We got it. Look at this. Now we're going to start printing. But I'm going to get ready on the emergency stop. No, we've already done a shutdown. Out of range. General cruising heater temperature exceeds its configured min. Okay, so we have an issue right now. Okay, so this is okay. We have basically what this is saying right now. My picture's blocking about the MCU shutdown, ADC out of range. Generally occurs when a heater temperature exceeds its configured min temp or max temp. Once the underlying is correct, filament restart, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Not going to worry about that so much right now. The good news is we got the Z-tilt adjust working. The other stuff is just all gravy. We can fix that. Nero tried printing with high temp on his Voron and the front fell off. Oh, crap, really? Yeah. Not even close on Vorons? No, okay. They have peak, but not peak ultim. Carbon X peak plus carbon fiber 10, $345 US a roll. That's like $1,000 Canadian, Mad Cat. No, that is, you need the proper printer. You need, no, that's something, that's not a hobbyist filament, right? So if you're printing peak, you're in a serious business of printing manufactured parts and so forth. So, okay, well, this was a whole other issue right now. Heater temperature exceeds configured min temp or max temp. We got to do a little bit of configuration on this now. I think I need to basically take some time, get into the printer config and make sure everything is set correctly. Obviously, I have something set wrong if it's telling me I've exceeded my min or maximum temp, or I've screwed something up by mixing these wires up, but we'll fix it up either way. But anyways, I think that is going to be, where am I here? Over here, I'm off to the side. Here, I'm kind of in the middle of the camera. 467 US Canadian. Wow. 380 to 400 for peak. Okay, it's higher than I thought. No, that's no. I don't want to do that. Not me. Not me. Why are you following me around, camera? I didn't tell you to follow me around. Here, get lower. Lower. There. Why did you suddenly start following me around? I guess that's not a bad thing. Except you're not supposed to be doing that. This night has been between Barbie misbehaving and these cameras doing what they're doing now. What are you doing? So, number one, you shouldn't be following me. Number two, you should be, no, the other way. Number two, you should be maybe right about there. This I can live with. I waved my, oh, yeah, I did. I went boom, 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 boom. Does that mean you're going to follow me again now? No, okay. I did something, obviously. You should be a little higher. No, a little lower. I don't want people to see those plugs on the bottom. And then you should be zoomed in a little bit. It's okay if they see my DeWitt 3D Canada board here. My really cool thread boards. Ah, that's too close. There we go. This is okay. AI is bad. Too funny. Okay, guys, listen, thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I want next weekend to be the last weekend that we work on this, because this thing has been, I've beaten this to death. That probe has given me nothing but headaches, but it is what it is for now. All I want to do, maybe one more stream, half a stream, is just get, I don't care about the quality. I just want this thing to print something. And then I can worry about the tuning and everything after. We don't have to be, yeah, it's a tall Tri-Zero because it's got the, what's it called on it? The box, the something box kit on it as well. I just want to print it. I can tune it up. I can get the prints cleaning after. I just want to be able to print something from it. So anyways, that said, everybody have a good week. Congratulations again to Russ Gare for winning a roll of Polymaker filament. He's going to be able to pick whatever he wants. And apparently you can get a discount on a second roll with that code. So pop in every Sunday, and I'm going to be giving away Polymaker filament, as do a lot of my other colleagues who live stream. So check everybody out. Yeah, you guys have a wonderful evening, and we will catch you guys all next Sunday. Appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the subscribes. We're going to be moving on to some really cool stuff this fall. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys later. Have a good night. Bye for now.